So with it,
Back with another one. It's your boy Hawes in the building. We are live from Casa behind the art. I'm here with two very special guests. The co-founders of Thrill are here with me, both Steph and Cam. What's going on, fellas? How y'all feeling?
what's up with it? I'm Steph. In case you didn't know,
Hey, what's going on? I'm Cam. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I'm just holding on to this.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Today we're kind of reviewing Casper the Friendly Ghost, but we're gonna have a really intentional conversation with these guys because they've been doing a lot in community over the last couple of years, and like they're not gonna stop anytime soon. So I'm glad I got the chance to sit down with y'all to like get into the thick of things. You feel me? And like dive behind you guys' story, but also kind of speak to where you guys are trying to take this to the next level because I'm hearing some remnants of the chamber coming back and we're doing some stuff. So you feel me? Maybe some exclusives on behind the art. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Right? Who knows? Right? Tight. Oh yeah. Let's get some audio on this. Have you guys seen Casper?
Honestly, no.
I've seen a lot of the Caspers.
Okay.
I've seen
Animated or live action?
Live action for sure. Never the animated. Never seen that actually. But I had a couple of these on VHS. I rocked with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Can we start there? Like, can we talk about the times where the cable might not just been on and you just had to run back that DVD or that VHS a couple of times to the point you know the entire script?
Hey, they
word
wouldn't
for
know about
word.
that.
They wouldn't know
collection
about
was
that.
Untouchable, bro. I had like probably this whole wall right here full of like a VHS. Niggas had like 300 VHSs.
A library of VHS.
Yeah, never had no cable, but always had the VHS.
I always had the VHS pop.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Which I honestly feel like was a lot better than just cable because it's just like mindless programming. It's like you no control of what you're watching, and then you got commercials you got to deal with. Like, you feel me? You can't go wrong with a good movie.
Plus, I feel like if you never experienced having a remote and like rewinding some shit, like have you
Ooh.
really experienced television? I don't know. You feel me?
That
Like
is
if
a
you
fair
can't
point.
like rewinding it how it looked like on a VHS, you feel me? Because you've seen it go
Yeah.
backwards. Like you feel
Yeah.
me?
I feel like that's what this generation now has. You feel me? Like
Okay.
our generation, if you ain't had that, you ain't know. You feel me? But niggas be rewinding shit all the time now.
Yes, that
You
is
get me?
true.
It's not the same. No, it's definitely not.
Doesn't have that
It's
feature. I
definitely
think you're making that
It's
point, that
definitely not.
feature where you see the like TV static and then it rolls back.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I can see that. Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
Now, take me
bruh.
through some of this extensive library though. What's some of the joints that you had in there?
Niggas had all the Terminators.
Okay.
Well, as many as that was on VHS. Mad in the Matrix had like 2 of the Matrix actually.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We had Harriet the Spy.
Harriet the Spy. I'm not.
Hey man, homegirl actually just passed away.
Oh.
I don't know, but the actor for that, she just passed away like 2 weeks ago, a week ago, or some shit.
Okay.
But had that. Man, we had Rugrats. Talk about it, Rugrats. You know what I'm saying?
The orange cassette.
Talk
Come on.
about it.
Was that limited edition or was that just how they?
You know, it might be like a Nickelodeon thing, like all they shit.
Okay,
orange,
yeah. Okay, fair. Fair.
Dang, I don't know. This was really like I was to say like 20 years ago, so I have recollection. You know
Yeah.
what I
So where are
mean?
those joints now?
Huh?
Where are those joints now? Are they like in stores?
They definitely gone. They gone with the
Oh man.
wind. You know what I'm saying?
That's type of shit you gotta donate to like the Library of Congress. So you got like that level of you got that level of collection type archival.
I never actually like I feel like you open up the VHS and I'm like I never really understood the technology, you feel me? Because I'm like, it's not like it's the film, you know what I'm saying? It's just a black tape.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta look into that now actually. I guess it's like magnetic or something. Oh yeah.
Because when you used to mess that up,
exactly,
like it's over type. I was just talking about that the other day with somebody about cassettes. Like if you had a really good tape back in the day when you listened to music and it was played on cassettes, once you messed up that like film or whatever that is, it's kind of donezo.
Feel me?
Yeah.
But that used to be like a pastime of mine. I really used to grab the magnet on the box TV and just like just playing with it just like you know what I'm saying, just a little bit. You feel me?
Nah, I feel that type of shit. Word. Nah, honestly, bro, this is great. I want to start like very formally, and I'm pretty sure you guys have been asked this question over a gazillion times now, but to this audience behind the art and the folks that's with us on live stream, I kind of want to start it like the inception of Thrill, kind of how you guys connected, and then that story about like, yo, I think this is what we should do, and then how that process began. Like,
That's so funny. I got you. Actually, first of all, I want to say big shout out to Rob. You know what I mean?
Word.
Because Rob was definitely a huge component of us like starting Thrill, like actually just starting. Because
Okay.
before Steph and I, we had been doing work before this,
Yeah.
doing a clothing brand called Psycho Streetwear,
Yeah.
and in our group, Steph and I had always like just seen. I think I was talking about this the other day, and and like we understood the vision without really even having to say it a lot. You know, it's like,
Fair.
hey, I think the circle should go here and it should be inside a square, and then we should color it like this. And I'm like, oh, hold on, add a little triangle, and then I get it.
Ah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So that was always there for us, and we'd always just been making stuff. Like we used to make really funny videos on Instagram
Okay,
before we
word,
started
word.
Thrill, because we were gonna try and do something called Art Boston. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we definitely. I'm gonna hold that. Noting that. I want to know about that.
And that was fun. That right there, that was like
random skits.
Okay, okay.
Skits, you feel me?
So was it skits or sketches? Because skits is like like the Instagram,
Right.
like sketches is more like
They were
we
sketches.
kind of thought this out.
They were sketches, I guess, but they were kind of impromptu sketches. 'Cause
Okay.
we'd be recording it, and be like, "Oh, we're promoting this random thing," and then we were like, "It's kind of like how homies punch in." We was doing that, but with the
Improv.
yeah,
I feel like you guys are really great at improv too. And there's
Yeah.
components to that. I don't want to get too far ahead, but there's components to that in the chamber and how the design of that goes.
For
So that's
sure.
fire. That's fire.
You feel me? But I feel like Thrill was kind of like just written. You feel me? Like it was always gonna happen in the sense of me
Say
and
that.
Cam, we just clicked really well. I feel like we had really similar like intake of media and appreciation for the arts. You feel me? Like we both used to be like bookworms type shit.
Yeah.
Both watched like mad anime. Grew up listening to like alternative music. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when you started listening to hip hop, but I feel like you definitely was listening to non-hip hop first, maybe, and then you got into hip hop. You feel me? So I feel like it was always just like we were both rebels or like against the grain. You
Yeah.
feel me? So I just feel like we had that synergy, and then you know what I'm saying, Cam dropped out of college and started living with me at my mom's house. You feel me? Like 2018, 2019 type shit.
Yeah.
And we was locked in. You feel me? It's just we locked in.
Type shit.
Shout out my mom's on many
Word.
fronts.
Shout out my dudes.
You know what I'm saying? Shout her
A
out.
lot of legendary shit. A lot of legendary shit.
For sure.
Yeah, bro. I want to speak to that, but then before that, I want to make a connection, because I feel like the reason I chose this film is because to the spirit of Casper, someone who is naturally very rebellious, as we see, kind of like a disruptor. I feel like that is kind of the energy that I not only get from you guys, but I also see in myself. Like we're very much disruptors of the culture. Like we don't want to necessarily just go with the flow. We understand that and have an appreciation for it. It's like how can we have our own spin and take on shit? So I want to when did you guys kind of like realize that individually for yourselves that like you kind of wanted to not necessarily go against the grain just to be contrarian, but just like offer your own take on things, your own perspective, and like knowing that your perspective had value? When did you kind of like have that realization?
For me, it was actually when we started doing Psycho.
Okay,
you
word.
know, we had gone to the skate park. It was like our like we literally Steph and I met on the same, like we lived on the same street.
Yeah.
And I just pulled up on him. I was like, hey, what's up, man? Like, you want to skate? And so then we just started skating to the High Park skate park. And we went there one day and met this other guy named Taz.
Okay.
You feel me? Someone who still brother to this day.
Okay, word.
And we were just sitting around talking and was like, oh, what do you want to be? And I said I wanted to be a author, because at the time I just read a lot of books. You know, like I said, we both read a lot of books and stuff.
Yeah.
Steph, he was like, I want to take over the world. You
Mm.
know, he was like that exact same reaction. Literally, all of us like, nice.
Yeah, that's hard. That's
And
hard.
then Taz, he said, man, I want to start a clothing brand.
Okay.
And then I think I looked at him and I was like, bro, why can't we just start right now? Why can't we just make that right now? And then right then and there is when I felt like I had like felt like an epiphany or like something switched on, and that was what I wanted to do. And then Steph was with the shits because already he wanted to take over the world. You feel me? He could have done it through clothes or however other means.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
Like, hey man, if I can get some minions out the work, let's do it. You feel? I'm kidding. But so we like started doing that, and then I think what really like that clicks for me that I had the power to like just make a decision and do something. And we've been talking about this concept about like getting the bug, you know what I mean? Like getting like when you get that thrill in you, you know what I mean?
Okay,
you
I like
feel
that
it for the first time.
Yeah.
And I felt it for the first, like, oh, this seems kind of thrilling. Like we could just make something right now. Why not? Like what's stopping us? Went to a black owned clothing store. He said, yo, bring me back some designs or bring me back a way to put the designs on t-shirts, and yeah, I'll help you out. We came back, brought it to him. He was like, I didn't think y'all niggas was gonna come back, but sure, I love this, let's get started, here you go, you feel me? And then he was like, you need to vector these. I learned what vectoring was. I was getting a computer because I was going to college, I think. That next year, and I just started teaching myself how to do graphics. And then that's when I was like, oh shit, I have power, bro. Like what I do makes shit happen. Like, I can make something and bring it to life.
Fire
type shit. I would really say that like Thrill is the spiritual successor of Psycho, for real.
Okay.
I feel like it's like not copy and paste, but it's the same like spirit. Well, I just said that.
Yeah, I feel what you mean though.
You feel me? But I feel like Psycho was really maybe the word. I guess it is contrarian in the way of like, you know, it's like psycho. Ooh, people used to hear it and be like, ooh, what's that? You feel me?
Exactly.
And it's like, Psycho was all about like, yo, if you got to be yourself, and people call you crazy, then just be crazy if that's what it means. You feel me? Because it's better to be yourself than like anything else. You feel me? So we'll take all the labels. I don't give a fuck. And then I feel like it was like teenager angsty phase of like, I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. And we really were doing what the fuck we wanted to do. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like my bar for what you should be doing as a teenager is so broken because of what I did when we were teenagers. You feel me? Like we were just doing whatever, whenever, you know what I mean? Or just, I want to say we were doing like fucked up shit, but we were just like having fun and not caring about anything else besides what we wanted to do. And yeah, I just feel like I've always been a visionary. You feel me? And I always had like some Martin Luther King shit. You know, I have a dream. You feel me? And I'm like, for me, I think like growing up in Boston and growing up like Haitian American, like shit never really fit or made sense. So I was like, I always had to make my own shit. You feel me? It's like, yo, I don't know what this shit is in the Zoland, and I don't know what this shit is African American land. So I was like, I'm just somewhere in the middle. Fuck it, you know, I'm just doing me. You feel me? And so I feel like it was never a question of like if, but more like when. You know what I'm saying? Like, when am I gonna do my shit? You feel me? When am I gonna create the world that I want to see? You feel me? So yeah, you know,
that's fire. So up until that point, did you guys like, was there anything that was kind of happening to your point of it, like being spiritual, like even how you guys kind of came together, how you decided to just like basically pull up on Steph and ask the question? Like, did you feel anything around that time? Was there anything innately that was happening, or was it just kind of like divine intervention? I guess I'm like, did you feel yourself kind of moving a direction to like, oh, I'm wanting to do more. Like, I'm looking for a tribe of folks that I can kind of build with, or someone that I can connect with. Because you spoke about the point of you guys kind of just being able to be on the same page about shit. Because I also want to speak about that, like how very rare that is for like to come across those type of relationships, but then be able to like maintain them over time as well. Because if I'm not, you guys weren't at the same school, right? So it's like, even that's like just being in a neighborhood, the amount of times that you're coming across each other is much different if you would have been in the same school. Like it took and for a lot of times in our community, it could take a lot to just go up to somebody and be like, yo, you trying to hang out? Like, especially if you don't know them. So I want to ask you, Cam, like what kind of, I'm pretty sure like that's part of your personality as well, but like what kind of made you comfortable to do that at the time? Was it just like searching for someone to build with, or?
My mom.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.
She was like, "Go talk to that boy. He got a skateboard. You like skating? Go ahead."
Yeah, for that encouragement.
For sure. For sure.
That's hard. Sometimes we need that push though.
bull.
That's hard.
Bull. So it's just like, sure, okay, I'll
Yeah.
go. I don't mind. And I went out there, and I was like, "Hey, man, you skate? I skate too. Let's
Word.
skate together." Yeah. From there,
That's hard.
It was over. Yeah, it's cool.
Dang, that's
Yeah.
fired. That's so to the I guess to the part two of that question. Was there anything for you, Steph, that where you felt like, dang, the things that are kind of like how we met, I was kind of in this space to really, because you have to be in a space to where you want to meet people to be able to connect. Like if you're somewhere where, like, you're not necessarily open to the idea of that, or you may still be figuring yourself out, whatever the case may be, you could, because I see that you guys connecting as a blessing for the both of you guys, like a mutual blessing. You were like open for that. Like how, like, do you feel like you was in that type of space at the time to where he asked and you were just like, what's up?
Absolutely. I feel like for me, also big out Sadiq.
Yeah, we got Sadiq on the couch. What's good, bro? Yes, sir.
Saying 3 P's in the pod. Stop playing. What do you call it? Yeah, I feel like. What you say with your eyes? I do what you saying. I was like, yeah, pull up, bro. But fucking, what do you call it? Yeah, at the time, I feel like I was like 15, 16. I was doing mad community work, and I found people very fascinating. When I was a kid,
yeah,
like I could talk to anybody, the most regular person, and they'd be like, yeah, I just grew up in Boston, and I do construction, and like I went to this school, and da-da-da. I'm like, wow, fire.
Okay.
That was every day I said fire 1,000 times. People said shit to me, I'd be like, fire.
But
Amazing.
truly fascinated.
Like actually fascinated.
Yeah,
Me personally, I'm fascinated. You know what I'm saying? And like, they didn't have autism back then, but I probably was on the spectrum. No cap. You feel me? Niggas just talking to me. I'm like, whoa, stop playing. And I was like, so what do you like to do? Like, wow, you should do more of that.
Yo,
like, I was super encouraging and super just like with everything and anything. You feel me? So I just feel like I had that like little sparkle shit. I don't know. You feel me? So, but also we were skateboarding. I feel like skateboarding is really like, I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it right now. Like, why the fuck would I wait? I could just skate. You feel me? Oh, let me try to do this thing. Da-da-da. So I feel like that's the essence. And that's why it happened. You feel me? Niggas was just really open. It's like you get some toddlers together and you leave them alone.
Yeah.
What the fuck's gonna happen? Some fuck shit. You feel me? So I feel like same
shit.
energy. You feel me? Like,
okay, word.
Niggas alone it.
Yo, you want the mic? Hey man, the question is, when did you first feel that ability that you could just do whatever? That you had the ability to do something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the ability to just create and inspire type shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like,
and that your perspective had value.
Yeah, that your words.
Oh man. I feel like I realized my perspective had value the second I started playing video games.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, like them choose your own adventure books. I'm not gonna turn to that page. Like, let me. I'm gonna do something else. Let me see what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was definitely pretty early on once I realized like, oh, when I speak, people listen. Because I was a super quiet kid.
Yeah.
Like because I played so many video games and because I didn't like go out as much, like I really was quiet. I observed everything. So when I did finally start talking and like it's noticeable, people be like,
okay,
oh, that means something. Like what's he saying? It must be important, and I don't know. I feel like I kind of held on to that. I'm a yapper now. I talk to a lot of people all the time, but I still know, when to make my presence known and when to really fall back. So
yeah. Type. So we kind of pointing out connections. So I would love for you to dive into like how you connected with Steph and Cam and like that moment for you and where you was at that time too. Do you feel like you was at a place to where it's like open to the idea of like...
Absolutely. So when I connected with Steph and Cam, man, like I was maybe like a year or so removed from college. Like was it right before or during the pandemic, I think. So the very first time I remember, it was one of the first few things when it was still the church studios. And they had this like meet up because they were doing a cipher for artists, and I don't know if I told my friend Danny about it or like a couple of my homies, like we were chatting and we decided to go. And when we went over there, there were a whole bunch of people rapping. Like Priya was there, Vic, like all the regulars, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
Like, and it was just dope. And I was like, this is so unique. Like, it's different. Like, what's going on? And I don't know if we linked up like immediately after that, but I was more aware of what was going on in the thrill community. Like, I'd hear about events or I'd want to be around or see what was going on. And I remember like at that period, I was going through like a very big shift in my life. Like my friend group changed. I stopped dating someone at the time. Like a lot of things around me were kind of in flux. Like I was moving, whatever, new job, new things. Like it's a whole different period of life. And so like I started thinking to myself, like as I'd see these different things going on, I had to remember like, oh damn, like I'm not the person that has friends that are hitting me up to do things. Like I have to be the person to put myself out there. So I started being like, I'm gonna pull up to these events. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say, hey, what's up? Like get to know people.
Yeah.
And when I noticed like it was a ton of artists, I wanted to, you know, be helpful. And I was always into photography. So one of the things I just pull up and shoot events.
Yeah.
And to meet people if you're a photographer. Because like one, people are gonna pull up to you and talk to you with a camera.
But two,
two, if you're editing, like you see everybody's faces.
Oh,
so you recognize everybody quickly. I might not even know somebody's name, but I'm like, seen you before at this event because I was editing for like an hour. Like I remember all of this, and it's funny how that just opened up so many doors. Like I remember at Black Market, one of the first few events I remember helping out there. It was with this girl Key, and she did this thing called Brunch with Key, and and so I remember without knowing, I met Clark there. I met like a bunch of the community there, and a bunch of people came out. It was like summer, and you know, people just started to see my face and they're like, "Oh, I seen you around." And then I remember when there was like Family Famous 2, I think they held at Black Market. It was again me just kind of playing in the background, taking pictures, and one of the pictures I took, Maystar loved so much, he ended up using as the cover
that was that one.
for his thing, Uppery. And I was like, that's crazy, you know? But I think the big one that really showed me this, I'm bouncing back and forth a little bit, but the summer that Camera Girl had her like camera bash, birthday bash thing.
Talk about it.
That's the day, like they had so many vendors out there. I was celebrating her company being, I think, and I took photos of everybody there, and they got circulated, and everyone was like, who are you, who is this, what's going on? And that I feel like was the big one where it's like, okay, I met the community like in force, in force. And I guess I'll close with like the big one when I really felt like we were locked in. So I remember telling these guys like, block party. So like off of Duke and Ormond Street, because like that's a neighborhood I grew up in. And I had hit them up because my uncle wasn't having it with me leaving a porta potty at the crib overnight. So I was like, yo, bro, like, can I please leave this at Thrill? Like, I know you guys do a lot of community stuff. And they're like, yeah, man, we'll help. And so I was thinking about it. I'm like, how are we gonna get this porta potty over here?
Oh, this is the infamous porta potty story.
Yeah. So then I'll never forget. Like I was calling, I'm kind of freaking out a little bit, and I'm like, "Yo, where y'all at? Like, are y'all good? We can come try to get the porta potty, bro." These two and Sabo were wheeling it down
my twin them,
by hand, and I was just like,
"Shout out Sabo for being real."
Since then, we've been locked in. Like that, because I was like, I see the dedication. It was a shoestring budget. Like I was just trying to make it happen just for the kids in our neighborhood. And to see their commitment to that, I was like, yo, this is what it's all about.
Yo, that's fire. You mentioned a few things I want to touch on. The first thing, like the regulars, because I think when you said that, I think of the diagram of like early adopter, innovator, early adopter. I feel like the Thrill Zeitgeist is very much that way. I'm forgetting the layers though. So do you guys remember some of the other layers? Late adopter, right? But what's isn't innovators first, right?
Yeah.
And then it's early adopter, and then it's two other layers. Type. But I think to the community building component, like that's immediately where my mind goes to when I think of Thrill, and I think of how like people come in and everybody's experience, because depending on who you talk to, their experience is like their first experience with you guys, it could be different.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't even realize that they may have met Like they may have been a part of something or experienced something earlier than they recognize. And then the second thing was Camera Girl's birthday bash.
Mm-hmm.
Historic.
Yeah.
Legendary.
It really was.
Like,
yeah.
Like shout out Colors, like the whole team. That I haven't been to at the time, because I feel like we've been able to, like, since they continue to take it up a notch. But at the time, I don't think I've been to anything that was so well put together, but at the same time felt so genuine.
Yes.
And went so like smoothly.
Yes.
We like, I felt like the only thing we didn't do was get in the bouncy house.
Yeah.
Like literally, bro, literally. And that might have been just because it was where it was placed out on the field type shit. Like, but yeah, it was a little bit of a walk, but that shit was fire. But like, you guys were very instrumental in like helping bring that to life. So I wanted to kind of dive into, because your point, like, bootstrapping stuff, making it happen, like not making excuses like, yo, this is the idea, this is what we're gonna do. And I feel like you guys don't only just do that for yourselves, but like when you have homies that were also helping as well, like you're very instrumental in that process. What gives you the energy and like the like keeps you to kind of like be open to doing some of those things? Because a lot of times if it isn't what you're doing, it could be like the help you give could not be as like what you would do for yourself. But I think you guys are very much not that way. It's just like, we're going to treat this like it was ours.
Yeah.
Like what it, I think it speaks a lot to your personality, but where would you say that comes from?
Well, I would say that like just for the reference, like Black and Shelly is definitely some of our oldest friends for sure also. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's a lot of genuine relationships in the things that we do. You feel me? Like even helping Sadiq out, I'm like, that's the homie. If it's the homie, I'm doing everything for the homie. You feel me? So I think like that's just like part of the values, you know, peer support for real. And I'll just say too, even like when we first met Sadiq, like when we put up to the cipher, he put up to the cipher. I'm like, oh, who's this dude that put up with 6 people? Oh, he got some folks with him. All right, you know, this diverse crowd here. All right, you know what I'm saying? Okay. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I feel like Sadiq had the values alignment too, because I feel like he was really just like pulling up to see the vibes. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like judgmental or anything. Because we in our backyard, by the way. I feel like some people was kind of disappointed, like, what?
Yeah.
Da. You feel me? But I'm like, you know, he cooling it, and Sadiq won't tell you, but he be spitting a little bit. You know what I mean? He spitting a little bit. You feel me? And so I just feel like there's that values alignment of just like being open to a good time. You feel me? Being open to friendship, and just like the love of the arts. You feel me? And love of hip hop type shit. And so when it comes to everybody else's shit, I just feel like it's an energy. You feel me? I really feel like it's like fire. A fire that we trying to pass along. You feel me? I feel like people don't know they have the capability to burn and like pass light and like pass that warmth. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so if I'm somewhere where people is like uplifting each other, I'm like, yes, this is what I want the whole city to be like. You feel me?
Facts.
Because like there's way too much shit holding niggas down, and a lot of it's just mental. You feel me? Niggas thinking they can't do some shit, which I also feel like why we were instrumental to community building this, because a lot of people, I was saying this yesterday because we was talking to Alula. And a lot of people haven't heard someone say like, yeah, you could do that. Like, I believe in you. You feel me? And I feel like that's one of the first words we always say to people is like, oh, what you doing? Oh, fire. When am I coming out? Oh, I'm about to follow up with you. Next time I see you, it's like, yo, you ain't do that thing yet? Fuck is you talking about? What is going on? You got everything you need?
Yes. Do you
feel me? Yeah, like what's going on? And you know, and just offering resources and just being genuine spirits. So I'm gonna pass the mic.
Sometimes I feel like that's really all we do. A lot of times is like, okay, yeah, what do you need? And like you can do it. And from there, that like does what 1,000 other things could have done. You feel me? Or 1,000 other interactions could have had. You know what I mean? Like literally it only takes like one to really make that like large impact. You know what I mean? That you need to like get some shit done.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard. Like, you know, people just don't believe in themselves because it's kind of hard to see other people do it all the time and like get this like numbness to like, dang, all these other people have so much success doing this thing. How could I also have it? It's like everyone else can do it. Am I sure that I can do it? You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird how that kind of works. But regardless of that, I just feel like, yeah, it really just us being available and having so many people who we've been able to make relationships with and be able to be like, hey, like, if you need an engineer, we know somebody who would love to come and like just help you out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Make a phone call. And our word, we've always used our word or like even our reputation in a way to like, oh, hey man, there's this young person or this just starting out artist, they want to get in, but they don't have everything yet. Can you just do something with them just like one time off the strength of just us real quick? And a lot of times people are like, yeah, it's y'all, of course, you feel me? And it's because hopefully they remember that we've, been trying to, they know that that's what we're about. You know what I mean? It's about community, it's about peer support, and just trying to get more people in this. You know what I mean? Once they catch that thrill, they need to be able to keep it.
I would just add real quick. I feel like the way we approach things too, because for the longest time, I feel like I was letting homies record at the studio for free. You feel me? And I feel like that was a great like mediator on shit, because people pull up and then we'd ask them for shit. I'm like, yo, can you work for X, Y, and Z? It's like, yeah, for sure. You know, you're already putting me on. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that helped a lot comparatively to like when you start a snowball and it's like, yo, swing me X, Y, and Z, and then I'll do And I feel like that's how a lot of people's shit starts through transactions, but our shit wasn't transactions for a long time.
I would also add in, like, on the community note, I just feel like Thrill did such an amazing job of making everybody feel seen. Like, something I vividly remember is when you walk, I could have whatever day, whether it was work or some BS going on in my personal life, whatever. You walk through those doors at Thrill and it's a completely different vibe. You feel me? It's comforting. It's, community, people around. You're going to be laughing real quick. Like, the best way I described it early on was like camp. Like, it felt like, oh, I'm in the woods with a bunch of people that have shared interests. Like, this is cool, And there's one experience I remember really, really well. I remember, like, this was still when I was kind of like feeling my way out and trying to figure out what was going on. I don't remember what it was for, but I remember, like, there were a lot of people hanging around at Thrill, and Ivy was running around with a camcorder. And so I remember she caught me in the doorway coming out of Thrill, and she was like, "Who are you? Why are you here?" And I was like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm nobody. Like, what's going on?" And she's like, "You don't get to be here unless you're somebody." You know what I'm saying? And I was like, in a way, I was kind of caught off guard, but I was like, this is actually very sweet. She's like, no, like, we see you, bro. Like, you're here. We care about you and we want to acknowledge you. And then there's the community building. Like, it's almost like, how everybody, when you have like a group of youth or something, or a new group of people, and they're trying to set like community guidelines and everybody signs it at the end. I feel like that was Thrill's door. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're locked in, sign. You're here now. Like, this is what this is. And it just always felt that way. So it's like, I mean, early on too, there was the really big Thrill group chat of like 100 something people, 80 people or 40. Maybe it wasn't that big. I can't remember. But like, people who we knew, if we hit the group chat, they know what's going on. You have 20 people pulling up somewhere, 20, 30 people pulling up somewhere. Like, I remember us pulling up to random like backyards for cookouts, and it seemed like a small thing, but then you got 30 homies, so it turns into something good.
That makes me think of, because I do feel like you guys have been redefining what community building actually means, because I think a lot of times the word community, I mean, we've been out and we in different spaces, it gets tossed around very loosely, and you don't really know what a person's true intentions or like what they really mean by that when they talk about either community, being in community, or community building. But I think to the point you made, Kim, about like that encouragement, how far that little bit of encouragement could take somebody, because you're not aware if you can actually do it. I think it's a lot of times because in our community in particular, we don't come from affluence. So, and I think we think of affluence in a lot of times in like through the lens of like monetary, and it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could just mean like coming from, very like a bunch of resources and all of those things. When you don't necessarily have that in close proximity, it could be hard to think outside of what you can do in the now.
Absolutely.
So sometimes that little bit of encouragement can do wonders, and like really take things to the next level, and kind of change how you see yourself and see what you're capable of. Like, Steph, you talked about being able, like, that just being a part of who you are. I want to go a little bit further back. Do you feel like maybe it's some of your upbringing, kind of how you were raised, that kind of lends your personality to be that way? Because I do feel like you're very spirited in that way, to where it's like you are going to hear someone out. You are fascinated for the most part about what somebody do, whether it's very micro or macro. But like, not everybody has that kind of that gene or that like trait about them.
For sure. I would say like, I was definitely like a product of the system, the positive part of the system. I would say like the nonprofit complex. I was in mad programs my whole life. You feel me? Like mad programs. Like I have 4 siblings. You know what I'm saying? I raised by a single mother type shit. She was like, "Oh shit, it's way too many kids to watch. Let's put them in all these programs." You know what I'm saying? We gonna be good. You feel me? So I definitely hopscotch mad programs. I grew up going to Bird Street. You feel me? I think that was cool. Just off the string.
Bird Street.
You feel me? Like I actually shout out Bird Street because that was like my first place seeing like regular community. That's the only real community center I'd say I've ever been to. Like a lot of community centers beyond like we do programming, but Bird Street was a community center because like they always had food. They had jobs for the kids. Like you could be 13, 12. They had a job for you. They had the basketball court.
Yeah.
They were just, you know what I'm saying? Bird Street was fire. So shout out Bird Street. You feel me? It still exists. I need to stop by. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, look, I might have to give back. No, God. Like, oh God, yeah.
That would be real full circle though.
You feel me? But then what else was it? I think it was just like all the mentors I had, they poured into me and they was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? This is what it means to like have like light. And then just shout out my mom too, because she was like, yo, just be a good kid. That's all I want you to do. You feel me? I was like, all right, I'll be a good kid, I guess.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? It was weird. I was like, I guess, you feel me? But I think it was what? You want the mic? No. Okay. I'm forgetting something. Put me on. What am I forgetting? Perseverance. Okay. Well, I just feel like in terms of like why it comes to helping people, I think it was just like I think not that it came easy, but I think I had an issue. I feel like Bertie was the first time too when I like did community work and we used to like give clothes to like the Pilgrim Church and shit. And I remember walking by this pole and being like, yo, why are all these free teddy bears on a block? Like, can I have one? They're like, no, you can't, nigga. Somebody died here. I was like, for what? What do they die over? What, nigga? You feel me? So I think that right there too really made me realize that there was a need and that there were people out there that were like going through shit that I felt like was unfair. You feel me? So that was a big part of the driving force of like helping people. And I'd say beyond just like encouraging folks, I think showing up too. A lot of people don't have nobody show up for them. And like back in the day, you know what I'm saying? We was unemployed, had less bills, lived at my mom's house. We had time to show up for everybody. Exactly. We pulled up to everything. You feel me? I really miss those days. We was going to an event a week, you know what I'm saying? And just like showing up for people, meeting new people, hopscotching around, you know what I mean? So I think beyond just telling people they could do it, is just showing up when they actually do their thing. And like, yo, what's up? I'm here to support you. Like, let me see you do your thing, whatever you're doing. So yeah, but I'm gonna pass the mic.
That's very fair. I want to know from you guys, do you guys feel like you had community centers or like communal spaces that was instrumental to your like growth and development, kind of aided your personality to the way it is now?
For sure. I think I definitely had a lot of like community centers that I went to, but it was actually because of my like group of friends who kind of just like also partied a lot. You feel me?
Party all the time. Party all the time.
I was a part of definitely a lot of programs like Balfour and like Teens in Print, for sure. So those were like definitely instrumental in the like socialization of like who I am. You know what I mean? But also like the education of who I am. Okay. More so the education than anything. But the like socialite in me definitely came from being with my friends and going to those parties. You know what I mean? Like Keon, Kayla, all them, like we all used to just literally gather up, find a party that's happening that weekend, and just go out and have a fun and vibe. You feel me? All the Caribbean bashes, all that was happening at Four Corners. No cap.
I feel you, bro. I was outside. I was there.
That's what taught me and allowed me to like be able to walk up to people and just be like, hey, what's up? What's your name? Yeah. Because you know, at those parties, you kind of have to just kind of go up to someone and be like, you want to dance?
Exactly.
Well, a lot of niggas didn't do that. A lot of niggas just went up to someone and was like, come here. Nah.
Let's talk about party etiquette. That's
for real. Like my whole shtick was, hey man, what's like, hey, how you doing? Would you like to dance? Or like, hey, what are you doing? My name is Cam. Yeah. Like, how'd you hear about this?
Yeah.
I had a talk with a kid once, and honestly, that shit sticks with me to this day, bro. I was dancing. I was probably a grand old fucking time. This little nigga was probably like, I swear, like 11 or 12. I don't know what the fuck he was doing there. I was probably like 14, maybe 15.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I'm dancing with somebody, and he's like just looking at me. I stopped dancing and I'm like, hey man, what's up? You don't want to dance? Like, what's up? He's like, when you've gone to enough parties, they're all just the same. And I was like, you're 11, nigga. You're fucking a fact. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's conversation that stuck with me to this day because it's just like, yo, once you've gone to enough parties, yeah, they really like, it's literally the same.
That is true.
And there's like a, damn, I'm kind of tired.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing that like pushed me towards more of the arts as well too.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that's when that's like around the time when Steph and I met and I moved, you know what I mean? And I just started hanging out with more of the Psycho crew for real. And we had just been skateboarding and going to concerts and underground events. And I've been exploring a whole new part. Oh, thank you. Exploring a whole new part of the city. You know what I mean? That I had never known before. And honestly, there was a lot of hard times that we faced as well too. You know what I mean? And hard times that people around us have faced. The artists weren't getting enough shine. Our best friend Clark, you know what I mean, was like not getting as much attention on his own art, or it was hard just to like put stuff on and do stuff. But that nigga persevered. All of us persevered. That was one thing I was trying to mention as well too. Is like that was something that came easy for us. You know what I mean? Especially like Steph and I, when the chips are down and it looks like, oh, this is just not going to work out. Like, it was definitely like Steph and I who were like, oh, yo, come on, crew. Like, we can make this happen. We can do this.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to say shout out Steph's moms and my own mother, because they were like the pillars for that perseverance. I know within our own mind, our own right, because they continuously push through the odds, you know what I mean? And all of the odds were stacked against them as Black women, you know what I mean? So it was just like seeing that and their strength definitely like showed me how much like, oh man, like, bro, my moms can do it, I could do it too, you know? My mom's is like, yo, you could do anything. She told me that at the very beginning. Steph's mom's is also on that same kind of wave, you know? It's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Like, do it. It's fine. You feel, obviously, I ain't gonna talk too much about Steph's mom. Steph's mom's is fucking G.
Word.
You feel me? Just know. All right, don't play around. But that whole mindset is kind of also how we built like thrill. That perseverance mindset is built in there. It's like, yo, when you get that thrill, you gotta be able to hold on to it and make it last for sure.
Yeah, I can attest to you guys' perseverance too. Like the three of you, like seeing that in real time, seeing how like sometimes you gotta be a little flexible, and then the ingenuity kicks in. It's like, oh, how we about to make this work? And I turn back around, it's like, oh, they gotta work it. Type shit. Like,
I would just to answer your question, like I would probably credit three things: one particular organization, but then other just kind of like life circumstances.
Okay. Word.
The first, growing up, I was born and raised in Mattapan, so like I got both sets of grandparents here, like my whole family here, mad cousins, mad uncles and aunts, all that. So growing up in Mattapan, like my mom's crib was like the spot where all the kids went. You feel me? So they'd be like, oh, drop them at Val's house. Like, yeah. So at any given time, like I was raised, I have a twin, but then it's also like all of my mom's best friends' kids. So at any given time, there's like 10 kids in our living room. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, we gotta go outside, we gotta play, we gotta find something to do. So we would just be wilding out, like outside, figuring, building community with one another and creating a ton of cool experiences. And that just made me like really accustomed to like being around people that I care about, you know what I'm saying? And creating experiences together, whatever that was. The second thing I'll kind of credit is I was a Metco kid. So like when I started Metco in the first grade, so you feel me, all first grade through 12th grade, I was being bussed out to the suburbs. So a huge way for me to stay involved in my community was joining those after school programs like the Boys and Girls Club, or any of these other like local organizations that put me in community with people that look like me. Because so often I was not around, unless there were a handful of the other Metco kids, like I just wasn't. It's that and then home. You feel me? Like very contrasting. And it was very important for me to maintain a sense of my identity. And I credit my father and my parents for making sure that we stayed involved in things like that. The third thing is kind of like leaning into that last part where there was still a lot of BS in our neighborhoods, you know, like break-ins, drugs, shootings, you name it. So it's like, how do we keep them out of this? Put them hopscotch the programs, you know, and that program for me that I feel like made the biggest difference is called Crossroads. They go by Crossroads for Kids, and they have a teen leadership program called C5. So I joined in 8th grade, which was usually people join in like 6th or 7th grade or something like that, and they're like tracked all through high school to do it. I joined 8th grade or like freshman year, something like that, of high school. And C5, they're basically like, I don't want to say grooming you, but they want you to be super successful, and they are pushing you towards college. You know what I'm saying? Like they develop you in the, you're doing tons of service, like literally thousands of hours of community service, and they make it it's such a wonderful community that they make you feel like, I want to do this. I want to get my numbers up. I'm going to the Red Cross today. Like, and it was amazing because they have this network of camps all over the country, but it's the same curriculum, like for C5. So there's like a C5 LA, a C5 Texas, a C5 Georgia. And every year they go through these different, focus areas that they want you to be better at. Like the later years, it's like college readiness. Okay, we're going to do a college tour. We're going to take you here. We're going to do this. But then each year it's like leadership skills. They want to teach you, you go on Trek. So Trek was one of those things where they'll, for like a couple days or like a week, they'll take you to Maine and you do the last 20 miles of the Appalachian Trail. You know what I'm saying? And for kids, I've been sitting in Mattapan. I forgot to say this. The majority of the kids that they recruit are from Boston and Brockton. So they have a camp in Duxbury, a camp in Ashby, Mass. Camp Wing. Yeah. So like, yeah. Let me say that. Camp Wing, excuse me. Camp Lapham, you feel me? All those. And it was just amazing. Like that was my summers. Like all the BS we go through in the year, we'd be able to get away from stuff at camp. And it was such a wonderful experience for me because I'm in community with people from Boston, from Brockton. I'm starting to see more youth that I know all over the place. I stayed in that program. C5 was also one of those programs that they'd put you in the room. They'd literally, you could go downtown, look at any like the John Hancock building or any of the big financial buildings and be like, what must it be like to talk to like the CEO? They're the organization to put you there and be like, talk to him, ask some questions, see what's going on. So it's like, I'm constantly learning how to navigate these different spaces, but then I'm also in a wonderful space over the summers that is taking my peers and I away from BS in the city. And I can say that with confidence, not just because like I experienced it, but I do have some peers who, when they did go back to the cities, got locked up from doing stupid stuff or whatever it is. And it's like, I'm so grateful that we all had that experience to just introduce us to something more and to make you look like, see what community looks like, see what service looks like, have these experiences that take you out of your comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? And then just be a part of similar curriculums or networks of alumni that are all over the country. Like I did get to go to Chicago and represent C5 New England. You feel me? I met the C5 Georgia, the C5 Texas, the C5, people all over. And I have people I could like call in LA, like, yo, why you ain't hit me up? What's going on? And we have those shared values, and it's crazy how it overlapped too. I won't talk too much longer, but like some of the music people are also like C5 alum. You feel me? Like, and that's crazy because we've been connected way back when. So obviously when my worlds clash with these guys, some of the people we're around and meeting and are popping, doing their thing. It's like, we go way back. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was really great. And I credit, so all three of those kind of experiences, I think, played a key role in being one of those people that could navigate a bunch of different spaces and that prioritize connecting people. You feel me? Because I was one of those people that deeply sought connection because I felt removed in some respects. But it's like, hey, I know how to navigate some spaces that you guys might not. You feel me? I'm very fortunate. These two guys, like, I know you could put any of us in any room and we're gonna start making friends. You feel me? So yeah,
I'd say too. Also, I didn't do C5, but I did go to, I'm a summer camp kid, actually. And I'm realizing now, I was like, it's weird that the environment I had in summer camp isn't like a consistent thing. And I do feel like with Psycho, with Thrills, like, how do we make people feel welcome and they can have fun? You know what I'm saying?
One last thing I wanted to say is, like, because I stayed in like the C5 network for so long, I became a counselor at Wing and one of the biggest things that made me like really, really care about community and the people around me was that you would see some of these kids who would be coming away for the summer. They go away for it could be kids as young as 5. You feel me? Or they could be coming away for the summer for a couple weeks at a time and show up with nothing but a trash bag. You feel me? And stuff like that humbled the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because I was going to Metco school and I'm seeing kids that their parents live next to the school and mansions and all types of stuff. And I'm self-conscious about what I got. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to come over. I don't want this. And then I'm in a position with youth and other people around me that have nothing.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's like camp was one of those places that you could come and we made sure they could just be a kid.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what you have. It doesn't matter what you come from. When you're here, this is what you are. And I say that because that's how Thrill made me feel. You feel me? And I feel like we tried our best to make other people feel the same. Like, bro, you here, you good.
Yeah.
Me, you know? So
that's hard. That's hard. I feel like we've been touching on a lot of great stuff, and it's like I do want us to like, you know, get into a little bit of the film too. So I feel like where are we at right now with Casper? I think pretty crazy. Type Sadiq, have you seen Casper before? It's been a minute. Type. Fair.
This is definitely one of my favorite Caspers. If it's not this one, I'm like, why am I watching it?
Yeah,
this one's definitely out. That one for sure.
I feel like we were talking about that too when we were kind of building out the film list. Like there was just a certain level of production. Like look how bro's floating right now. Like over the
the
like,
production in this is crazy.
In just that time period for films, I feel like early on it's just like even the grain, the look, like how things were shot, it's just extremely different. Like this is definitely green screen, CGI, whatever it was back then, but like the quality of it was still great. You guys remember Matilda?
Yeah,
because I feel like that's what led me into this. So it's like, so to the film component, I want to ask the 3 of you individually, top 3, because we got 3 guys. Normally we do top 5, but top 3 favorite films of all time, and it could be like, you know, what's inspired you. It's like, you know, and you have to do 3. They don't have to be in any order, but you got to do 3. And we'll start with you, Kim.
The one that inspired me.
No, just like if that's what you'll pull from, but it could just be like, nah, this is my favorite movie.
Dang. You want to know the first one that came to my head? The first Power Rangers Mighty Morphin movie, nigga.
Oh.
Was it the first one? I think it might have been the first one. Or it's like, I don't know if it's the first one, but it's the movie where they actually like fuck the Zords and they get the cars types. They get the cars.
Okay.
Shit.
All right. What the fuck did you just say?
I'm following. I don't remember that one, but I'm following.
No. They said fuck the Zords. They got the cars. They like.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That's
no.
Y'all niggas
Y'all niggas. I was like, I'm with you though.
It's not late. That's crazy. My fault, y'all. But they're like, they like, forget all about the Zords and like they like become like the Turbo Rangers. Yeah, that's I think that's when they introduce it. That's
okay.
I don't know why that one came to my head, but that one was definitely like a top movie when I was a youth. I was like, that's cool. Dang,
that's what it's called. Yep. So for me, it's The Matrix, Enter the Dragon with Bruce Lee. Yeah, I was watching that shit really young. I shouldn't have been watching it that young, but the scene where he like step on the nigga and he's like, that right there is ingrained in my mind, bro. That right there. And my mom used to do taekwondo and shit when she was a kid, so she was like, yeah, like, you know, she was just watching mad kung fu movies. So Matrix, that shit, and maybe like you said top 3 films of all time.
Yeah, your top.
I'm just saying childhood shit, no cap. So I don't know if that's all time, but those are definitely favorites in my heart.
Yeah,
my heart of hearts. You feel me?
So you got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. I don't know. I'm gonna come back.
Okay.
I might have to think about the third one, but I got 2 for sure. The first one was The Iron Giant.
Oh,
I don't know. That is like consistently one of the only movies that makes me cry every single time, and I know exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love that movie. You know, it's a beautiful story, and you know the element of sacrifice at the end, like, amazing, and to still live on because of that. I would also say City of God. That's all time. You feel me? Like all time. It's one of the best stories I've seen.
That was also shot really well too.
Exactly. Yeah. The third one is hard, man. I don't know. Like, there's a lot. Like, I watch a lot. I watch a lot of media. I was a comm student in college, so like I'm always like, oh man, this is incredible. What's the movie I always make y'all watch, or I always try to like bring up?
Bro, that's just
fucking Midsummer.
No,
Okay.
it's not a horror movie. It's not a horror movie. Oh, what happened to Monday?
Okay.
Oh, that movie.
Yo,
Several.
why was I just talking about that with some folks at the MFA? Like literally, because I feel like we kind of talk about this a lot sometimes. We're in the office. Like, I think we might be moving. That might be the direction we're headed into. Like, yeah, like as far as like society goes, sometimes it feels that way. But so I want to ask you, what about that film in particular?
Okay.
And when did was it when it first came to Netflix?
Bro, when I seen it. I think I seen it before that. I actually don't know. I knew the actress because she's the same girl who was in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yes.
And those movies are incredible. No, I wish. I wish. Nah, but when I saw it, I saw like it's aside from the story being what it is and it's incredible.
Yeah.
I think when I saw two things, I think it was one person being so talented and so versatile that they could play several characters at once.
That's fair.
You feel me? And shoot it all. It's like she must have gone through the whole movie 7 times. You know, like it was so good, and I love that. And I'm like, I'm a sucker for an amazing plot and twist, even if you can anticipate it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's all about execution for me. And I felt like it was executed really well.
Yeah.
And because it was the same person, she just knew all the nuances she wanted to do for her.
Yeah.
But she knew how to engage with herself, the sides of herself. So, and I don't know, there's probably some motif metaphor there somewhere where it's like all these versions of me. Like I got the badass version of me, this and see how they interact. Like I love that. And then what's his name? The actor that's the grandfather in the beginning. William Dafoe.
Okay.
He's a goat, bro. That's like a John Wick, bro, to me. You feel me? Like classic actor. Yeah. Like at the first time I watched it, I was just like, this is cinema. You know what I'm saying? Like
nah. Definitely peak cinema shit.
I got my third one.
Okay, word.
My third one is damn. It doesn't feel like I feel like I'm not giving my like film self justice because I watched a lot of movies and I also grew up going to the library. I was a library kid, no cap, and so my library card was active. I took out movies every day because I didn't have cable. On God.
Wait, so I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have any things on your account that you owe?
No. You know what they did in like 2010? They deleted they cleared everyone's books.
Okay,
2010.
yeah, I do remember that happening.
Crazy.
Right?
They do that shit.
Like,
they do that shit. But my third one was what is that shit called with the vampires and the werewolves? The Hunters. Underworlds. All the Underworlds. That shit right there.
Yes.
That shit. And
that's the first time I heard of a lichen.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what werewolves are called?
Yeah.
Lycanthropes? All right, bro. That shit was crazy to me. That shit, Resident Evil, fucking Electra. There's some other one, I forget. But all them shits with like niggas doing crazy shit. I was like, wow.
I'm seeing a consistent theme of sci-fi. I like that. I like
you
that.
Feel me?
Yeah.
So you got 2 more, Cam.
Yeah.
Dang. Wait, my last one, just honorable mention. Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman.
Okay.
I rewatched that recently with Gabby. It's 2.5 hours. It didn't feel like that when I was a kid, bro.
It doesn't. You remember the scene where he jumps down off of the house in the it's like in the middle. I forget, they're in a village and he jumps down off of some building. It's like
with the vampire shorties doing some shit, or
in there. It's like a big battle scene. I could be remembering it wrong. I feel like I remember that part standing out though.
You do, bro. They valid. But yeah, that one right there, I watched that a lot, bro. I watched that way too many times.
Yeah.
You know, I will say Toy Story for sure.
Okay.
Toy Story was the one that like I always watched.
Which one?
First one. But you know, I really like the second one. But the first one I think is the one that we had on DVD. And like Toy Story and Finding Nemo like go hand in hand for me, because they were always on repeat in my house.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I'd always rewatch those shits.
Nah, same.
The other ones, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
that was good.
Yeah.
That was like, as an adult, that one like really hits home for me. You feel me? That one's like really beautiful. And then Damn, I really wanted to leave Power Rangers on there, but not really. I think Spirited Away has to go on my
Okay.
list.
Okay.
Yeah, Spirited Away has to go on my list. Something anime like has to go on there
That's
for
fair.
sure. You know what I mean?
I felt with that.
Yeah.
That's hard. Nah, y'all's list is actually kind of very diverse.
What's
but
your list?
So you had one. You said Toy Story 2 specifically, Spider-Man and Casablanca. Like, yeah, Casablanca
Wow.
for the reason being in high school, having to watch that like in AP Lit, kind of like because that was like a part of it. Yeah, that like our teacher at the time, she's very big on film, and it kind of would inspire me. And before I knew it, like knew what a cinephile was and all that stuff, it's like, okay, this is someone that I really connected with because I during high school wasn't really connecting with a lot of the teachers and shit like that. But I feel like when I finally transferred over to English and I met, damn, I'm forgetting. It's like it's not McCormick. It's Miss Mick something, and I apologize if she ever sees this. Love you. You definitely shaped my mind going forward. But like having to watch films not for like the theatrics, but more so like to your point, plot, storyline, how well something's written, and like the social commentary as well.
Yeah.
Like Casablanca at the time was like big for that, kind of what it was touching on. And like also kind of like rom-com in the beginning of rom-coms, like black and white films weren't really doing that back in the time. It's like she put me on a Charlie Chaplin and kind of like how he for like improvisation comedy and animated comedy, like how we see in our community, we have folks like Tommy Davidson, Martin Lawrence that are super animated with their comedy. That if they know it or not, that stems a lot from like the Charlie Chaplin. Even you think of someone like Sammy Davis Jr. Like that's kind of that, not to tie our lineage back to a white man's lineage, but like if you get what I'm saying, like kind of where it comes from. Yeah, type shit. So yeah, that would be the three for me. Toy Story, Spider-Man, and Casablanca. Damn, I feel like the conversation's going so well. I forgot my next question.
You know,
Oh yeah, the sci-fi kind of. I think a lot of times in our community that goes not overlooked how the dreamer in us, the creative mind of like why we kind of lean to like those type of films or those type of stories that are like sometimes larger than life, this like maximalist type of energy. Do you feel like being drawn to those type of films is kind of what like pushes your creativity towards an extent or inspires your creativity, what allows you to kind of think outside the box? Because I see you guys together, but individually as creatives who always can think outside of the box, think outside of the norm. Like, how can we reimagine? I like to use that. I've been using that word. I've been like butchering that word for the last couple of years. Reimagining. Like, I feel like you guys do that collectively and individually. Do you think it's because of like some of the films that you saw coming up, or just kind of like whether the media that you were into or consuming at the time that kind of leans you to be that way?
Yeah, I think for me, definitely, I love sci-fi. It's like that's sci-fi, dystopian, future, like all that is really fire to me. It really puts me in a place of the future and what that can look like for sure. And I think a goal in life for me is to have a positive impact on those around me, and that is kind of what like sci-fi does, even though some of them be like really bad, really terrible. You know what I mean? Like they give me this feeling, this positive feeling that there is still a future regardless. You feel me? And it can look like anything. You know what I mean? It reminds me that the future is right there. And you just gotta kind of like take hold and shape it the way that you want. And also I don't even necessarily I wanted to actually comment on you saying that, you know, we reimagine, because I think a lot of times for us, it kind of feels less like reimagining something, but more like adding to. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like adding to the conversation. You know what I mean? Like, how do we add to this?
Yeah.
You know, this is happening, but how do we like add to it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More than we're like, let's reshape this entirely. You know, let's change the entire landscape. It's just like, what's not here? You know what I mean? Like, there's something that's might be missing.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try that. You know what I mean? Like, see where that goes.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
I'll pass you the mic in 2 seconds. For me, I feel like innovation has always been a big part of my life, and like the word just top form comes to mind, and it never made sense to me why so many things around us in the world was not in top form. You know, it was weird. I'm like, yo, these sidewalks could be better. This street could be better. That house, I wonder why it was built that way. But that could be better. You feel me? Everything could be better, and like better for what? And I think to me, it's just like, you know, I don't know, real Dragon Ball Z final form shit. You feel me? Like, why wouldn't you want to get there? You feel me? Because once we get there, then we get to go to where's next. What's next? You feel me? And I feel like humans been doing a lot of the same shit. So I don't know. I also believe in people just living out their dream, and we living in somebody else's dream right now. You feel me? The fact that like you aren't touching everything around you is weird. You know what I mean? Like somebody else designed the shit for you. You okay with that? You want the shit? What's that shit called? Standard? Like when it comes from the box? What's that called? I forget.
Default?
Yeah, you want the default of shit, nigga? Are you serious? That's weird.
Yeah,
That's
nah, I
so
feel
weird
that.
to me.
I
You
feel
feel
that.
me? So I just feel like, you know, you should be like catering shit for you and like the life you want to live and for those around you as well. And I feel like a lot of shit wasn't that. And I'm like, that's I can't stand by that. You feel me? So me personally, and I believe if you can, you should. You feel me? And like me, I grew up with mad siblings, and I was like, yo, I don't know, we was just doing shit. We was shoveling, we was raking, we was picking shit up. We was doing random shit because we was 4 boys. So people used to call my mom all the time. He used to be like, yo, can I borrow your kids real quick? Can they help me do da-da-da? We just go do some shit. And I was like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do when you can. You feel me?
Exactly.
So I feel like if you can, you should. And you should be in top form. You feel me? So
I like that. Top form. I'm gonna have to steal that.
There's a couple things I would say on that, but I think that form thing is huge because I feel like something like when I learned about, I believe it's Van Gogh's bull. Is it Picasso's bull or Van Gogh's? I don't know. He has the 12 like stages.
No, that's Van Gogh.
It's Van Gogh. So like I learned something very early on. I definitely think it was in like elementary school actually when I had first heard about that, and I just saw like you can appreciate something in its simplest form, you know, and like I could see the beauty in the simplest and the most like dope thing ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, like this is still lit even if y'all don't get it yet.
Yeah.
Like I see the fur now. Like y'all just don't see it yet. So like I that's like something I definitely take to heart with everything that I do. Another thing, like that kind of expansive thinking, like video games and the interests and stuff like that, that definitely expanded my mind. Like I'll never forget the first time I was in Virginia, they put the Xbox controller and PlayStation controller in front of me and put on the Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and I was like, I can knock off the monk. Like what's going on? Like I could run around and do whatever I want. I got powers. Like what? Like you know that I was reading a lot of books. One text I really remember being into is Artemis Fowl.
Okay.
You know? So he's like this child genius, you know what I'm saying? And he has like, I think he's like a billionaire or something. Something like that. Yeah, and he could like do whatever he wanted. He had this like bodyguard that did everything with him. And like being a youth and seeing someone that had that much agency that could impact the world around them in such a profound way, like I thought like that too. You feel me? I'm not a billionaire. I'm not Batman. But I'm like, I know my words and the things that I say and do have an impact on the world. You feel me? And then, I don't know. Like, I read a lot. I read a ton of, like, World War II, like, historical fiction and stuff like that. And it's like, seeing the realities of war and all these atrocities and things and knowing you can go out and be good to your fellow man. Like, you feel me? Like, it's an obvious choice to me. But yeah.
You know, I would also like to say as well too, based on everything that we've said, a lot of it has had to do with world building.
Yeah.
And I think that's like something that we talk about often.
Yeah.
Is like world building and like building our own world and just adding to it every step of the way for sure. Yeah.
I think that's a big part of like the brand building concept too, right? Like in the idea, like people buy into people, not products. And I feel like that is why Thrill has been able to very easily build a community, because you feel like you're not just buying into a concept, but you're more so, and not even really buying it, because I feel it's very salesy, but you're kind of, what's the word I'm looking
investing?
But I feel like removing anything that has a monetary connotation, like just like being ushered into like identifying with, again, to like finding alignment with people, because it may not even coming into the space, it may not even be directly with you guys, it may be someone else that's new in the space, and someone for the first time is finding alignment with someone else who is also joining for the first time. And then through that experience they get closer to you guys, and then they realize like, oh, we're actually all interconnected type shit, and maybe that's why I'm here right now, and then identifying with that. There was two things I wanted to touch on quickly, because I feel like, to the film, I feel like Casper represents this. Oh, this part was funny as hell. This is when they try to turn him to a human. Yeah, it's like it's hilarious. But like Casper very much, for me, I feel like represents the youthfulness in all of us. Absolutely. And kind of like how you maintain that. And I feel like you guys are big. What's the P word I'm looking for? Damn, I'm always forgetting words on this fucking stream. Big proponents of like making sure people remain youthful, remain creative, like remain in like not necessarily in deep thought, but continuing to push themselves and kind of like think again to the thinking big and like, yo, you can do that, and remembering that things are very possible. I want to ask one where that came from, and then the second question to the first of things, because I feel like for a lot of times when people are first experiencing thrill, they're also that's their first time experiencing that level of energy. But to the first of like, when was the first event? So that's a two-part question.
Okay, cool. I think it's always we've talked about it. You know, it's always been here with us. Like it's always been here with us to like be excited for those other people who've experienced that same feeling of I can make something.
Yeah.
You know, like Steph talked about it earlier, and that's something that we both share in terms of like, oh, what? You want to do carpentry? Nah, bro, carpentry's mad dope. That's so cool. Actually, how did you even get into this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that excitement, that thrill comes from, you know, others as well too, being excited for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think like it's like always been there. So it's kind of hard to pinpoint like exactly when and where, but definitely it's been felt throughout the experience for real. I think if I had to say for thrill specifically in terms of an event where we felt that, I would say that it was the pop-ups.
Okay.
I feel like one of the first pop-ups that we did, the second pop-up that we did in Connecticut.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We had honestly just met Merc, Fuego, Sabo, and their crew. And literally we was like, yo, come out with us to Connecticut. They was like, for one, they had just been recording inside of, I think it was Sabo's home studio.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't Sabo's?
Other homie studio.
Other homies?
Yeah.
It was one of the homie studios. Okay. And we was like, yo, just come to Thrill. Come record at Thrill. They came to record at Thrill. They started coming there. They were literally some of the first people.
Okay, early adopters.
Like, yeah, really early, like for real. And then we asked some of our other homies like Clark, and then Nate, and being able to see them, for me at least, being able to see specifically Fuego, Sabo, and them, because Nate, Clark, and them are already here type shit.
Yeah.
But specifically to see them come to Connecticut, perform, and have a grand old time, even though we had barely anybody there.
Yeah.
You feel me? Was dope. Yeah.
I would say too, like the morning show. I feel like in terms of like that energy of like being welcomed, of like we're just having a good time.
Yeah.
We're doing something ridiculous because the morning show started at 7 a.m. You know, 7 a.m. bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And we out here pulling out a pinata and be like, we doing open mic, nigga. Anybody wanna say some shit? All right, who wanna beat on this pinata? I remember this nigga Yabasha fucking just beat on that motherfucker. I'm like, damn, bro, you know, I imagine someone smaller doing this, you know. Shit's crazy. You feel me? But yeah, the morning show, you feel me? Because niggas brought out blankets, niggas was cool in it.
Yeah.
And we also had the vendors, and it was just us, you know. Brandy was emulating something she used to do in college, which was like wake up early as fuck and turn up, you feel me, with her friends. So just bringing that energy. So big shout out to Brandy, and big shout out to, you know, Merc, Sabo, Fuego, Pat. You feel me? Because those are the good old days to me, man. That's when shit was simple. Those was just chill as we just doing shit. You feel me? Yeah. Also, big shout out to Nate. Big shout out to Nate. You feel me?
Yeah. I want to add, because you did mention, like, you kind of touched on that earlier, so I feel like an even better question to ask is, because like, this behind the art, right? So it's to learn about not just the experiences on or in front of the camera or in the work, but like how you maintain, like, because this shit has ebbs and flows, like, and I feel like that's a reality. Like, how do and through that, how do you keep that youthfulness? How do you keep that energy alive and keep it up? So like, if that kind of like to inform what your answer would be, Sadiq.
For sure. I mean, the people are a huge piece of it. You know, like, I love these guys. You feel me? And they are great. I feel like, okay, we were talking about like being expansive and like all these things we're really interested in growing up and the media and stuff like that. Like, you all, what I at least always saw is like I could make my own decisions. It's like, I don't want this to be default. Let's step outside the box. Let's break the rules. Why are they saying I can't do this? And like, sometimes when we step into rooms, or I can speak for myself, like, I think like that. Like, there might be something going on, and they'll be like, I'm gonna say something left just to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know, like, that definitely helps keep it alive, trying to pour into my true interests. You know, like, if I'm like, yo, I want to go to this concert, I want to see what's gonna happen. Or when I recognize a similar energy in other people, I don't have to know them, but if I see, I'm like, this event, I see what they're trying to do. That's dope. Like, I love the concept. I love this. Like, I keep that curiosity alive. You know, and I look for the things that help do that. So like, I'm gonna keep pushing for them. So it could be a new artist, somebody that's doing. I'm like, this is different. Like, you know, what's going on here? I'm gonna gravitate towards that. And the more people I gravitate towards that have a similar energy, the more I find people who are even deeper like diggers than myself. So that continues to inspire my curiosity. It's like, oh, we just unearth something I ain't even think about. Like, let me now look at this from a different perspective, and then that finds somebody who's even deeper into whatever it is. So, you know, as long as there's people that are really passionate about what they're doing, man, that keeps it alive for me. Like, I'm never gonna let like a job or anything else that can be soul sucking just take it all away. It's like, bro, what would I do if I had $0 in my pocket? You feel me? That I still want to wake up and do. I'm gonna wake up early and do, you know, morning show. We wiping crust out your eyes, rolling out yoga mats. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the grass is wet. Like, you know, like those are the things where it's like, this keeps it fresh, this keeps it exciting. It's not regular.
No, I'd say the exact same thing. And I just say, like, being open and still curious. You really got to you got to try to maintain the energy. You can't pull up and be like, I know, and like just having the judgments and shit. You feel me? So just every time meeting somebody or going someplace new, being open into new connections and just still having that energy of genuine interest. You feel me? Because when you're genuinely interested in someone, you have a good conversation. You know what I mean? And when you have a good conversation, that's like the first stepping stone of a good relationship. You know what I mean? And going places you don't belong, kind of, sort of. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Just being random places and to meet somebody and it's like, oh, what's up? You know what I mean? And that shit just snowballs and the network effect happens. You know what I'm saying? But genuinely, like, finding those safe havens of energy, like I would say Casa. You feel me? There's not a lot of spaces doing this. You feel me? Holding space for the arts, you know what I mean? And having safe havens like to record or do whatever the fuck it is to brainstorm the plot, you know what I mean? So I think just sticking around, staying with your tribe, but also having like an open door policy. You feel me? So I think that really just is what keeps it alive.
I agree with what both of them said, for sure. Definitely. And I feel like there's one thing that I wanted to add that was like, I don't actually, no, I don't know.
Nah, it's well said. Nah, it's very well said.
Really,
I would agree.
Really well.
I feel like getting to the like now that towards the end of the film, right? Like, almost. I forget this lady's whole shtick, like why she was so angry.
I don't remember. I think she wants the deed or something. I don't know, man.
Yeah, something like that. She turned him into a ghost.
Don't even matter.
got scammed.
Oh, I guess she's been looking for treasure then, huh?
Hilarious. But to the point of unfinished business,
spiel.
I feel like I want to switch that and talk about like the idea of uncomfortability when you're experiencing growth. Because Sadiq, you mentioned it earlier when you talked about like stepping outside of what you were used to, like and recognizing that, oh, I'm not the friend that people hit up. I have to kind of step outside of myself or what I normally do to kind of like find tribe and build this community. And it may require me developing like or working on things that are already in me, but just like opening up those characteristics, whether it be to be more communicative or be more talkative, be more spirited.
Yes.
Like, can you speak to that? Because I think sometimes a lot of creatives don't realize that that's what they're going through when they're in that breakthrough period in growth. Again, to like our community not being taught and not be like not having the tools and always knowing like, okay, this is what I'm experiencing. Like, where were you like when you realized that, and then like what helped you like not settle in that to be, because you could have very much been like, fuck it, I'm just gonna, you feel me, I'll just be.
That's real. Honestly, I'd say like it's probably two things. The first is that I was just over feeling how I felt.
Yeah.
That's what I think was the first and foremost. Like I know you can, I feel like I adopted very early on. It's like, it's one thing to acknowledge an issue or a problem or something you're struggling with.
Yeah.
And it's another entirely to manage it. You feel me? So it's like, okay, I know I'm feeling like crap and I'm lonely, or I'm not around the kind of people that I like to be around. I can continue to let that be and procrastinate and have it suck my soul, or I can, do small things every day to move closer to what I want. Like I look for the small things that keep that light going or that inspire in me, and I'm like, this feels right. I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yes.
Because I know this doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's just a very clear difference there. The other thing that I would say is I look at patterns in my life, right? Like we know there are ebbs and flows to anything. So there have been lulls, or the periods of feeling kind of outcasted, or you don't have your people or your group. And it's like I've gone through this before. You feel me? I can get through this other thing too. Yeah. And the pattern of my life has been like, okay, there might be this low period, but like you've come up. Yeah. Have faith in yourself to accomplish that again and on a higher level, and to continue to keep pushing through. Now, we don't always get to set the timeline for that. Exactly. Like we do all have agency. Sometimes you go through a season of shit just being off. Yeah. And you have to, I think you don't have to accept that, but it's like, it's gonna happen on its time. Yeah. You can push as much as you want, but when you really feel like, hey, I'm past this, I feel good about it, you're good. But I don't know, like that not getting comfortable, kind of continuing to grow and continue to look, like a huge part of that is the people and experiences I surround myself by. And that's why like I continue, no matter what it is, I'm gonna try and keep moving towards these experiences and these people, because I don't know what I'm going to find that makes me feel different. Yeah. And a great example of that, and this is part of the throw community, there are people who have been in my like childhood friends I've known my entire life. Some of the people I've met in the throw community, I'll name drop Clark. Clark is one of them. Yeah. Has shown me more love than some people I've known my entire life in a couple weeks of knowing them. And like experiences like that show me that can happen. Yeah. Like some people, until they experience that, they just don't think it's possible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And until you experience something like that, you don't know that you can keep working towards that. It might not come right around when you expect it. Yeah. But it's out there. And it's like, how then you kind of reverse engineer like how you got there. Yeah. It's like I kept showing up. I kept going to these spaces with something that I was interested in. I was surrounded by people with shared passion. And look what I found, So if that's my little motivation and reminder when it's like, yo, keep pushing for these new spaces. How else can you challenge yourself? I think introspection for real. Like, that's one thing I love about these guys. Like I feel they really reflect. You feel? I think we all want to be better people. We all have similar values. We care. You know, and we know that change starts from within. I'm speaking for them here, but you know what I'm saying. But like, I recognize that in them, and I really appreciate it. So it's like, if you're around a bunch of people who are holding themselves accountable, how you not gonna hold yourself accountable?
That's hard. Very well put. Very well put. That dang, yo, this honestly has been very good. Like, I
was about to say, I feel like we really dove deep. No cap, you know what I mean?
Like, and I think from time to time we do. Like, I always get that by the end of the pod, when we're like in a production meet, they're like, "Yo, bro, that was like very good conversation." I feel like maybe I have a hard time not getting deep, but like I think just naturally how it is. But to bring it back to lighthearted, because I was like, we're finishing up the film. What do you guys, again, to it being behind the art, like individually, when you guys turn the TV off, right? You know, type shit. You know how we feel. You know what side we standing on. What are some of the things you guys do to like either decompress or kind of like get re-inspired, or just be simple, like vibing out? Like, if you have a thing that you love to do in the city that folks may not know about, you don't gotta give away your spots, your vibes, you know, type shit. But like, what would you say is something you do to kind of like recharge?
I take long walks.
Ooh.
You know, shout out to Black. He put me on to walking, you know. Money used to be like, yo, we could just walk to da-da-da. I was like, walk where? Oh, okay. You feel me? I used to skate everywhere, you know. I just recently started like biking everywhere, but Black put me on like a couple years back to just like, yo, you know, one time we left the movie theater and we walked from the movie theater to our crib in Mattapan. It was like 12 a.m. and it was like, yeah, let's all just walk. And we walked the fuck home. And I was
which
like,
one?
From downtown.
Yes.
To Mattapan. Yeah. To me, that was crazy.
Exactly.
You know, exactly. That shit's insane. But for me, it's really important to be like part of the city and see how it's moving, like how people are feeling, just like feeling the energy and the aura, you feel me? Because it lets me know how much work I got to do, you feel me? If I'm outside and people having a good time, I'm like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
Let me go have a good time with folks. But if I'm outside and people look like shit is shitty, I'm like, oh, no, I got to turn some shit up. You feel me? But it also helps to just like the movement. You got to like move the energy, you feel me? Move the energy in you. So that's my thing, you feel me?
I love a long walk. No, I like that.
Yeah. I turn the TV back on.
I feel that.
No cap. I like watching anime, so a lot of times I watch some anime to decompress for sure. I think like all the pretty colors just remind me of art, to be honest, in general.
Yeah.
The stories also remind me of like the world building we do ourselves as well.
Yeah.
It's like all inspiration, I think, more so for me. And then I definitely I think for me, I go to the movies. You know, that's the other thing. So like I'll go on a Tuesday by myself to a movie theater and just go see a movie. That's how I decompress. And then I also like to bike. You feel me? Love cycling. To bike somewhere. Yeah, biking is cool to me. You know, I've really transitioned. You know, gone from like skateboarding to biking. No, sorry, skateboarding to car driving.
Yeah.
Then to biking.
Type shit.
Feels great.
Better for the ecosystem.
Yeah, super bad, super great.
Word. What about you, Sadiq?
I feel like mine changes a lot. I too am very quick to turn the TV on. I'm big on dramas. I'll chill. You feel me? And I if I find something I like I'm one of those people that goes all in with whatever that is. Okay. You feel me? If it's 2 seasons of this thing, when I have the downtime, I'm coming back to this show. Yeah. You know? I mean, decompressing is like the one thing I put on my personal Gmail calendar. Like I'm like, it's an hour after all my work and everything else. Don't do nothing. You know? I'd say like it used to be sometimes I'll explore, I'll go to like places that are meaningful to me. Like I remember one spot I used to drive to all the time when I needed to like clear my mind. In East Boston, there's a park named Lopresti Park. And that park, sitting on the dock, just breathing, watching the water, you feel me? It's nice out. There's a soccer pitch, kids and people play there, and there's a basketball court. Like I loved going there. You feel me? And I would just hang out there sometimes. Other times, if I'll call my pops. I'm very grateful for his presence in my life, and I'll talk to him, and he's gonna say something left, so like it'll just get me laughing. But then like kind of outside of it, or one of the homies, like my college friends, like I'll call here and there. I also I listen to a lot of meditation.
Okay.
Like a lot. Like before I go to sleep, it's almost like I can't sleep unless I do that.
Sounds or affirmations?
Not even affirmations. It's more like the guided things.
Okay.
Because like I used to do like more like yoga and stuff when I was in high school.
Shout out yoga.
I won't even say college and all that, but really like high school and the guided stuff. Like I always fell asleep. So I'm like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
What else to decompress? Like it depends. I go based off of what kind of stimulation I feel like I need or don't. So it's like I might, like if I'm decompressing, I've been in front of screens all day, bro, I'll sit in the dark for 30 minutes and just like let everything just fall off of me, and then there are other times I know I might need to play some music, or what was the other one? I was gonna say I'll pick up a book, because like I do read a lot on my phone, but like I'm like sometimes I'm like I'm just tired of this media, let me pick up a physical book. And like bro, one of my homies sent me a book like 2.5 weeks ago. I finished it on a road trip in like 2 hours, 3 hours. And I was like, I used to read so much and I forgot like what it's like to have a book and just, oh, this is a page
flip
turner.
Through,
you feel me? Like this is awesome. Before you know it, 300 pages are gone. It's like, damn. Like I needed that. But yeah, it changes.
Yeah, I say for me, I like to clean. I'll really clean for like a couple hours and be like, not for me, not the dishes, but
bro said very distinctly, like,
I'll clean the bathtub. I think cleaning the bathtub for me really makes like really I did something. You feel me?
Yeah,
because I feel like it's kind of hard to decompress and not actually do work.
Oh, you do the dishes?
I do the dishes.
Okay.
Dishes in the house.
I'm not a dishwasher.
Okay.
I might clean the stove maybe, but we also all live together.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because Sadiq just brought up something. He said cooking. So what are you making? What are you making?
Oh man, some form of chicken. That's I don't know. It depends. Like I feel like we're breakfast people.
Okay.
Like we got multiple waffle presses. We all enjoy freaking French toast, and we have like stockpiles of eggs when we can. They got expensive though. But we have we make breakfast. We that's like a communal thing. Like we come together to eat. We hold space for each other. We're like, bro, you hungry? Yeah, it don't matter if somebody's graded it or not. Like
Earlier this morning, literally went upstairs, watched Invincible together.
Yeah.
And then we had like leftover food from the other day.
It was
chicken. And we distributed that between each other. Literally, we had like 10 pieces of wings from BBQ chicken. You feel me? This nigga didn't get the BBQ last night, so he was like, all right, you get 4. Steph and I, we get 3. Then this nigga was like, hey, yo, I got more in the pot, and threw down some chicken he made last night. And then we split that. We split a piece in half, me and Steph. And then he had the other half, and then Sadiq had one half. It was, man, that's what we were doing. Yeah, for
type
real.
Shit.
Sometimes it's not, but
yeah, that's hard. Oh man. Nah, that's hilarious. Well, like the film has ended, and this is kind of the portion of the stream where we get, I guess, like in a sense, philosophical. I'm always calling stuff the philosopher because you always got all the analogies type shit. But I kind of like to sign off with like the question of like, how do you like to be remembered, right? When we think of legacy, we think of the idea of community building, world building, what we leave behind, and kind of the intention that you put into every experience, every step that you take, every conversation that you have, like all the people that you come across. How do you like to be remembered? And now I guess I can ask that collectively and then also like individually.
Which one are we gonna go with first? Yeah.
I said mine a little earlier, but I definitely want to leave a positive impact. For me, that's like on an individual level. You know what I mean? Like being able, I want to live forever through other people's memories, through other people's positive memories of their interactions. You feel me with me? And man, even like I hope to live on and through some of their like negative ones that turn positive, hopefully later. You know what I mean? And healed. Because I definitely have those too. It's not all positive.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to live forever through people's memories, the positive ones, and hopefully maybe even have a positive impact on the world one day for sure. Yeah.
Inshallah, that's hard.
I feel like you've had a positive impact on the world for sure, man. I think you're good to go. No cap. Yeah. I'm playing. But I think for me, yeah, being remembered is weird. I don't think I really want to be remembered. That doesn't really make sense for me. I think for me, what I would prefer is like the same way we like throw up the thrill symbol, or like helping someone bring their groceries inside. It's like, yo, why did people start doing this? It's like I don't know why people started doing it. We just all do it.
Yeah.
And that's how I want to be remembered. Like something that everybody does that's like positive and that's for the people forever.
I love
You
that.
feel me? That's how I want to be remembered.
That's the first time someone has kind of like had that approach on this question. So I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that.
Yeah. I definitely want to echo Steph on that point, because it's like I do want to be remembered as someone who like tried their best to help as many people as I encountered. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe people will remember the way you made them feel and not what you did. Yeah. So it's like I hope my net impact is good and people feel that. But I do think in terms of that, like I just want to influence people to do more. Like I know this arts and culture stuff that we do, we're not the first or last to do it. And it's like, I think we were just people that, saw stuff in our community that wasn't there. And we're like, how can we bring this here? How can we inspire curiosity? How can we ask the right questions? And I want to encourage people to ask even deeper questions, create even more fun experiences. It's like, why can't Boston be one of those cities that's super dope? Like, why do they feel like we don't compete when it comes to nightlife and all these other things? And it's like, we have made a strong last ditch effort to make sure they're impactful experiences. Yeah. Who is gonna pick up that baton and continue to go on? And did I have an impact on them? Like, did I help them think about how they can change the world around them? So
fire.
I think that legacy is super important to all of us, for sure. Especially because, I was thinking about this just now, but everyone, it's crazy to think that we remember all of the people who've had a negative impact way more than we have the people who left a positive one. Mm-hmm. And that's like there's like a quote that I heard recently about like, negative impact, like people who've done negative things to you more, you remember a lot more. You remember the negative more than you remember the positive, or something like that. And there's really like a handful of people I could really name who had a real positive impact on the world. Gandhi, MLK. Yeah. You know what I mean? Malcolm X. Yeah. Nah, that was controversy, but I don't give a fuck.
Depends on how you look at it.
Gandhi was a controversy.
Really?
Malcolm X is a real nigga.
Oh, okay. Say
Gandhi,
that.
Though.
Really?
Gandhi, though.
Damn, I don't know the full story.
I got Gandhi.
I ain't know the full story. I ain't know the full story, but his positive impact on the world stands a lot longer than that shit.
What was his positive impact on the world?
I don't know. He's peace war some shit.
See, look at that. You drinking a goddamn Kool-Aid?
Yo, hilarious.
I would say too, on this like collective legacy thing. Yeah. I fuck with hip hop heavy. You feel me? And I feel like hip hop's not enough in conversation. You know what I mean? Especially like hip hop for what it actually meant, like the 4 pillars. Yeah. And like peace, love, and having fun type shit. You feel me? So I feel like on a collective legacy, I just feel like it'd be lit if like when people be like follow your passions, they just said enjoy your thrill. You know what I mean? And like, you feel me? Like, and that meant like have fun, but do it with other people. Like we gotta. I was in this community meeting the other day, and homegirl Cindy Diggs, she was like, we got to do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we was talking to Alulu about it yesterday, and it's like, D.O., yeah, you feel me? Do it ourselves, D.I.O. Like when you want to enjoy your thrill, you have to do it yourself, but like we have to do it ourselves together. Otherwise, it's not really, you ain't doing much if you're just doing it by yourself. You feel me? So
and
I think
it's not as fun.
It's not, you feel me? And just like taking it past the arts into like really anything and everything that you want to do collectively. You feel me?
That deal gonna give us the oov. You know what I mean? If you don't know what the oov is, you gotta look up what the oov is.
All right, you heard that? Heard that, chat? Look at what the
real.
OOV is. If you
What
don't
is
know the
the
DO,
OOV
you're
for
not gonna know
real?
the OOV.
Yeah, all right. You gonna have yeah. You gonna get the oov for real.
Facts. You want to add to that, collective? Okay.
What was the last piece?
The collective legacy.
Collective legacy. I hope they just see. I want people to remember Mattapan. That's first and foremost, because you know it as complicated as it is. You know, my experience and love of Mattapan, it's what made me and shaped the being I am, and the gentleman sitting next to me as
Talk
well.
heavy.
And so I think they need to know like where Mattapan is, what it is, and what we stand for. And I think Thrill is a beautiful example of that and its community. So
That's hard. Yo, that's a great way to sign off. That is a great way to sign off. Before we get out of here, we obviously gotta let the folks know where they can find you guys at. I'm pretty sure like most of the folks will know, but good reiteration type shit. Drop the socials on them, and if you got anything coming up that you might want to share, some quick drops. I don't know, some exclusives. I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah.
Enjoy the Thrill on almost everything. You know what I'm saying? Venmo, Cash App, Instagram.
I like that. Talk heavy.
You feel me? And my personals, Uraeus, YUHRAEUS type shit.
My personal is just my full name, Cameron Tello. If you can't spell Tello, it's TELEAU, and Cameron spelled with a C for sure. Also be very aware that in 2 weeks from now we're having the Blair Bitch event. The first Sirens event. You understand? Look up Blair Bitch Project on Instagram, please, because you're gonna find the very first Sirens and you don't want to miss it. It's gonna be beautiful.
Yes,
it's going to be an R&B experience that you've never experienced before.
How's it going, y'all? My individual, you can find me at solely.sadiq. That's SOLELY.SADIQ. Just like my brother Cam over there said, check us out at the Blair Bitch Project. We're highlighting some of the most creative women in Boston, and we're really excited to do that on March 29th at the Substation in Rosendale. You can look it up on Eventbrite, Google, whatever. Sirens, it's going to be incredible. Yeah.
Say that. This has been another episode of Behind the Art Live from Casa. We're going to sign off right now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow guys on all their socials. Stay tapped in. And we'll see you next week.